Yesterday we talked about how part of being a man requires us to do stuff that's tough. It's part of being a man. And one of the hardest things to do, one of the toughest things to do is to love, and to love the way that Jesus modeled, and that's sacrificially loving others when they don't deserve it, even though it's tough on us. Today I was thinking about something that I think every man needs. Every guy must have this in order to be a real man. And I think that's clear vision. Guys are wired up, I think, for battle. Like, we come alive in moments of danger and excitement and high levels of risk, but it's just the way that we're wired. And so the problem becomes, though, is when you've got all that in you and you don't know what you're fighting for or what to fight against, then you end up, using all of that testosterone in unhealthy and unholy ways. But when you have a clear vision and you know what you're fighting for and what you're fighting against, then that warrior spirit that God has given every man comes alive. And so you got to know your vision. You got to know your mission. Now, if you're a Christ follower, Jesus gave us a mission, and that was to share the news of Jesus, right? To make disciples, to share our faith. And so that's a pretty clear mission. But no matter where you're at, man, I would challenge you to define your mission. You need to have a clear vision on what it is that you fight for. What do you stand for? What are you willing to accept, and what are you not willing to accept? For me, I've kind of decided to come up with my own mission statement, kind of like a personal mission statement that flows out of my primary goal, which is to be a Christ follower and to bring people to Jesus. But my personal mission statement really comes from 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14, where, so for me, this is what it would be, right? Here's what keeps me on track. Here's what keeps my vision clear. And that's that I'm going to watch out. I'm going to watch over the people that God has put in my care. I'm going to stand firm in my faith in Jesus. I'm going to make sure that my faith doesn't waver no matter what's going on. I'm going to act like a man so that I can raise men, whether that's my son or the men that God's put in my life in Teen Quest and youth ministry. I'm going to act like a man so that I can raise men. I'm going to be strong and take care of those and defend those that God's put in my place who are weak. And I'm going to do everything out of love. I'm going to let love motivate everything that I do, and let love be the driving factor. So that keeps me on track. So when I'm wondering what do I need to be fighting for, if it lines up with that mission, if it lines up with those things, then I'm going to fight for it. If I'm challenged with something that threatens that, then I'm going to fight against it. If it threatens watching out and being strong and standing firm in my faith and raising men and acting like a man and doing everything out of love, if it challenges that, then I'm going to fight against that. So every guy needs a clear vision. So I want to challenge you today. What's your mission statement? What's your vision? What is it, personally? And define that. You have to know. Otherwise, if you don't know, you're going to get lost in the sauce, and you're going to end up going down a path where you don't know what you're fighting for, what you're fighting against, and brother, that's a dangerous place to be. So clearly define the mission, clearly define the vision.